Hi everyone, this video is going to be about friendship. I find that friendship is such an important topic, but not too many people talk about it. And so I decided to record this video for you and share my insights, what I learned over the years, and what worked for me in making long-term, real, deep friendships. Now let's talk about myth about friendship. Some people say that adult friendship does not exist. Well, there is nothing further from the truth, because you can make friends at any age. Some people say, well, you can only make friends when you're in school or college. Well, no, it's not true, because when school ends, very often those people fall apart when they follow different paths in life. In my opinion, you can make friends absolutely at any stage of your life. You just need to know some basics, some rules, some things that really work for friendship, and apply those things in your relationships with people. So it's very important. A second myth that I find is absolutely untrue is that real friendship lasts forever. Well, it's not true, because very often we evolve and we change and interests change. Then it becomes natural to spend less time with people we're spending a lot of time with in the past. They're still friends, they're still in my heart. So for me, in my example, I was really close with certain people when for example, when I was looking for a partner. I was open for dating. I was not looking, but I was open to start dating somebody, and my friend was in exactly the same stage, and we were talking about those things. We were discussing relationships, boundaries, and many things together. But then I found the one, I get married, but my friend, she's still looking for that one, for that partner. So now I have kids, and my friend, she most of the time she spends going to places where there are singles and trying to find somebody, or sometimes she would go to a club or things like this. And for me, that's not in my interests at all. And it's normal, it's natural. When we have different paths in life, we have different interests, we spend less time with people we used to be very close with when we were at the same stage of our lives. And it's normal, we still love each other, we just hang out less, and it's okay. But it's not true that the real friendship lasts forever. I think that at times, well, I would not call it an end of friendship. There is still friendship. I still feel affinity and love for my friend, but it's just different now. It's just a little bit different in a way that we spend a little less time together, and we have different, like absolutely different lives. So that is okay. What is friendship? For me personally, friendship is when I feel affinity and love for someone, and it's not an obligation to be friends with somebody. It's always a choice. I am choosing that person to be my friend, and the way friendship happens for me, it's just natural. And some of the closest friends that I have, I actually fell in love with those people the first time we had a conversation. For example, one of my friends, she is from the same country as me, and the first time we had a conversation, we just clicked, we just loved each other right away, and there was that instant connection, instant deep connection. And with all my friends, it was the same way. I know, and I've heard stories when people meet each other and they absolutely hate each other at first, and then they become friends. And I'm sure there are stories like this, but for me, no. For me, the real friends that I have, that I had for many years and I still have in my life, they all happened the same way. It's just one conversation. I just feel in love with that person, and that's it. That person becomes my friend. I love this quote by Osho. Friendship is the purest love. It is the highest form of love, where nothing is asked for, no conditions, when one simply enjoys giving. I just find it so true in the way I experience and feel friendship. It's just the purest love, that's it. Some friendships that I had actually lasted a very long time. I moved to Canada when I was 20 years old, and some friends that I met when I was 20, 21, 22, and I'm still friends with those people up until now. Has been many years, and I'm just so excited for that. And yes, with some people we do see each other less, but still I feel friendship and I feel love. Only one friendship for me fell apart in the last 15 years. And the reason for it was very interesting. I was listening to my body, and the way my body was feeling when I was with her, it's just hard to explain, but I was just not feeling good about myself. Even though most of the time I'm very confident and I feel so much love, I feel so much that I can give to this world. And there are people in our lives that actually come in our lives and they make us stronger. They support us. When people are self-expressed, they love you to be self-expressed. But when people feel shut down, when they feel small, and if you are becoming big in their presence, they won't let you. They will start diminishing you in certain ways, or doubting your actions, or saying some negative things. So I actually had that experience one time in my life where I felt the person was very critical and judgmental, and I felt small. I felt small in her presence. And at some point I realized, yes, I love her, but I feel small in her presence. It doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me in this lifetime. I don't have time to play small. I want to surround myself with people who actually helps me become bigger. People that help me live my purpose in life. And I don't have time for competition and for all those things. And that's why I decided to break that relationship. I decided to exit that friendship, even though it was very hard. My heart was broken to break that relationship, but I had to, because I just don't have time to play small in this world. I need only people who are making me feel open, who are making me feel big and self-expressed. So my suggestion is, look at your surrounding. Yes, some friends are good for you and they come for a long time and they're there to support you, and they will sincerely be happy for your success. Those are real friends. For me, the friends that I have now in my life, I know that if the greatest things happen to me, I know they'll be happy. And the same thing with them. If the greatest things in the world happen to them, I will be happy for them. And that is exactly the way the friendship is supposed to be. And if somebody makes you feel small in their presence, it's probably because they're either thinking negative things about you, or it's because they're feeling very small themselves. And people can only give what they have. And so if they are giving you that feeling that you're small, or trying to put you down, or doubt your actions in any way, then you know that they are in hard times. But we don't have time to rescue everybody. And it's like, you know that somebody is asleep and you're trying to shake that person and say, please wake up, please look at the beauty around you. But the person is asleep. They're not able to see that. They're not able to see all your full potential, everything that you can do, if they are asleep themselves, if they are doubting themselves. So I think it's so important to get rid of those negative people in your life and just move on. That way you're able to do so much more for this world, for yourself, and for people who actually love you. With that friend that I just mentioned, that I had to end my friendship with, she was testing my boundaries, and so she was doing certain things and then watching my behavior. Is that okay with me? Is that okay? But for me, because I loved her, I was forgiving so many things. But I think that's not the way a real friendship works. It's not the real friendship. Yes, it's important to set boundaries. However, if you just don't feel good about yourself, make it your number one criteria. Don't feel good about yourself in someone's presence. That's not your friend. Also, there is a very important wisdom that I always follow, is that people in our lives are our reflections. So if I am loving, if I am giving, if I am resourceful, that's the kind of people that I meet in my life. And the friend that I met that was quite negative, I met her when I was in a difficult time of my life. And it's very interesting how I met my reflection. I was doubting myself. I was putting myself down at that time. So I met a friend who was like this, but I did not stay in that low point for a long time. Yes, I met her when I was in that rock bottom, when I felt down, I was doubting myself, and that's why I met her. And it's so interesting. But then I did not stay in that state, in a negative state, for a long time. Right away I realized, okay, it's not me. I don't want to be in that state. I just want to flourish. I want to do my best to live my purpose, to do incredible things in this world. Why would I spend my time in that state? But then I have a friend that I met when I was in that stage of my life. So I realized I grew so much, and it's not the time for me to go. So every time I would be communicating with her, I would go back to that rock bottom, but I didn't want to go back to that rock bottom. So that's why I think that it's also important to notice what state you're in, and then you see that now we are attracting people who are in exactly the same state as we are. People are our reflection. So if you're bubbly, if you're happy, if you're giving all that happiness, right away you're becoming that lighthouse for people. People are drawn to you, and as they're drawn to you, most of the time they're the same, because if somebody's negative, they won't even have enough energy to walk up to you and talk to you, and you will not be interested in them. So it's always people who match each other's energy, we match each other's passion. If we're passionate, we're meeting passionate people, and that's a rule. Just be a friend you want to have. That is so important. Be a friend you want to have. I came up with a rule that makes my friendships actually deep and meaningful, and I'm happy to share all those rules with you. Rule number 1, always be on your friend's side. Have you ever experienced where whatever you do, whatever you say, you just feel that the person is on your side? They're there for you. They love you. They truly love you. They're on your side. They've got your back no matter what. And so that is so important for deep friendship. Always be on their side. Let them know that no matter what, you're on their side. I know there are no sides in an ultimate reality, absolutely not. But what I mean by that is just show the genuine love and tell them that you are there for them. My rule number 2 is give without asking anything in return. I actually recently I was in a public speaking class, and the topic of the whole evening was friendship. And some people were sharing what friendship means for them, and I was surprised because one man said that friendship is when somebody's coming to help him. Then he feels that that's his friend. And for me, it's like, it's not friendship. It's like if you can use somebody for your own advantage, that's not a friendship. It's something that is convenient for you, yes, but it's not a real friendship. I would never call that friendship. And it's not about using somebody. It's not about somebody being useful or comfortable. It's about giving without asking anything in return. That's real love, and that's a real thing. When you give love, you do good things, not to get exactly the same thing in return, but just because you love them and just because you want good things for them. And that is when it's genuine, it's real. And there are people that do something for others just so that others do something for them, and that's just an exchange that is manipulation very often. That is not pure friendship. So for me, one of the rules that I use, that I always apply, and that's real, actually natural to me, is give without asking anything in return and without expecting anything in return. Just give from your heart. My next rule is always be a good listener and always trying to understand where your friend is coming from. Very often we are saying one thing and the other person understands something completely different. And that's how relationships fall apart, communication falls apart, and it breaks so many relationships. Listening and understanding where the person is coming from is so important for good friendship. I don't mean here listening all the time and letting the other person talk all the time. That's a completely different thing. There's something we talk about on my communication workshops is over communicating and under communicating. So when somebody's over communicating, it's like they talk and talk and talk because they have that need to talk a lot, and the other person's just listening and listening. And then the person who is the listener, they feel overpowered, because for good communication to happen, it needs to be equal. person is equally a listener and a speaker. And when somebody's always talking and talking, the other person's always listening and listening, it's not balanced. And usually relationships like this fall apart, and it's very difficult to feel equal in that kind of communication. So in communicating with people, always remember that it's important not only talk but also listen, and not only listen but also talk and share yourself. And that way, and I know some people might say, but I feel more comfortable talking a lot, but I feel uncomfortable listening, or I feel more comfortable listening and I don't feel comfortable talking. But that is exactly the point in communication. It's important to share, and if you're always a listener, you're not giving anything except for the listening. And when there is sharing, when enough sharing is not happening, then it's very difficult to maintain that kind of friendship. So balance is very important in communication. So it's not over communicating, not under communicating, but being in that perfect middle, being a good listener, and of course sharing authentically and being vulnerable with your friends, real and vulnerable. My next rule is plan and schedule fun things together. And I just find it so fun to do fun things together, like travel together, or we took a chocolate tasting class with my friend, we took a painting class, we take dance classes together, we go for different hikes, and we do so many different things. And I just think it's so important to not only spend time. It's like, in some friendships I notice that all they do is they spend time the same way all the time, and they just talk. They go to a bar and they just talk. There are so many things that you can try with your friend, like and make it a fun experience. Especially it's fun to travel together. There are so many incredible memories and so many things that you can remember and talk about. It's just so fun. It's one of the important rules that I have for my friendships is doing fun things together. My next rule is be consistent and follow up. It's also, I notice, happens sometimes that one person always reaches out to another, and another person never reaches out to the first person. So I think it's important to reach out to each other equally. Ask how your friend is doing, or wish your friend a good day, or just follow up. I find it so important to follow up at least once every 3-4 days. It depends on the closeness of your friendship. Some people don't like their friends to be too close. They don't like to follow up way too often. And I had friends who like to follow up and chat or text every single day. And to me, it's a little bit too much. To me, it's ideal to chat, to check in every 3-4 days, and that's just ideal. But because if it's way too often, I feel it's too much for me, because it's and if it is way too rare, like once a month, once every 2 months, it's just way too rare. And I miss my friends, and of course I feel it's so important to follow up more often. Just find what is ideal for you, what you feel comfortable with, and follow up with people, with your friends, as often as you are comfortable. My next rule for deep friendship is, if something bothers you, discuss that right away. Because if you are not going to discuss it right away, you are going to keep it inside, and then one day you'll blow up. You'll be so reactive if you don't communicate, and you might blow up because of some small thing, and your friend might be like, holy smokes, what's wrong with that person? What is going on? So I think it's really important to communicate when something bothers you, like right away. Another rule from my friendships is learn and grow together. For me, it's all about growth, and I like to grow and learn every single day. But if I can do it with a friend, that it's just so easy for us to deepen our friendship. Like with one of my friends, we always take personal development workshops, or with other group of my friends, we take spiritual workshops together all the time, and it's just so much fun to do those things together. Do things that we are passionate about together. It makes such a huge difference. So learn and grow together. And my last rule that I find is extremely important is expressing gratitude. And I know that for many people, it's just difficult to express gratitude, to say that, I love you, I'm grateful for you. It's difficult, but it's so necessary, because we as people, that's what we need the most. We want love. Some people are so starved for love. It's like they're in desert and they want that glass of water. So when you are expressing love and gratitude towards somebody, it's like you're giving them that glass of water when they are so thirsty. And it could be so simple. You could say, you know what, I really appreciate you. I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your style. Or if they have this habit to wish you a good day, wish you a good morning, or send you that message, heartwarming message sometimes, you could just always say, you could just express your gratitude for that and say, that makes my day, and I'm really grateful that you take this time to communicate with me and to send me that love and warmth. And I really, really admire that, and I appreciate that. And always expressing gratitude and seeing something good about people, it makes a huge difference in your relationship. Those are my rules for deep friendship, and I really hope that you get something really valuable from this talk. And if you want some more topics like this, I love friendship, I love my friends, and I just find it's such a privilege to have incredible friends. And anybody, absolutely anybody, can have incredible friends in their lives. Absolutely anybody. And it's just important to practice those rules, to practice to get out of your comfort zone, to go out, to meet people, do what you're passionate about. And when you're doing something you're passionate about, you'll see other people do the same things as well. And then right away, it's easy to make friends. And once you make friends and you apply the rules that I shared with you, I guarantee that you'll have incredible friends. So my friends, if you want to leave a comment, I'll be very grateful. And if you want some more topics or certain topics from me, please ask and request, and I'll be so happy to record them for you.